Hi there, this is Renee Parsons with PXG. I am out at Scottsdale National today for an exciting event, our third annual Women's Day to Play, celebrating women in golf and just overall women empowerment. So we're really excited to be here and I can't wait to see everyone. So excited to have everybody here again for our third annual Women's Day to Play for PXG. Golf is for everyone. That's what PXG stands for. Women have just as much a right to be on the golf course and in private clubs as men do, right?
Thank you guys again for participating today, for coming out. This event has become really, really special to me over the last 3 years, and it's something I look forward to now every year, and a way for all of us to come together and celebrate each other and golf and just have a good time out on the golf course. So thank you for all participating in this event, and I hope I'll see you all again here again next year. So this is a fun new addition that we've done this year where we've added a panel to talk about golf as a metaphor for life, women in golf, women in business, women empowerment. And we thought this would be just a great addition to what we did last year. And I was lucky enough to be joined by all of these fabulous women here that are all in different walks of life in the golf industry in all different ways. And they were so excited and, happy to be here and to support all of you in PXG. So I'm going to, without further ado, I'll introduce them all here. We've got, as most of you all know, Becky Robinson.
Hey, y'all.
Amazing. She's a businesswoman, she's a writer, she's a comedian, and she's a friend. So thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And of course, Christina Kim. Also needs no introduction, an amazing LPGA tour player and a PXG ambassador for many years now. We're so appreciative of you being a part of our team here and being here today. Yes, thank you. And last but not least, Bennett Green. She is amazing editor from MyGolfSpy, and she will be moderating our panel for us today. So thank you, Bennett.
Thank you.
We'll pass it on to you then.
Absolutely. Renee, first of all, thank you very much for hosting. Obviously, I hope everyone had a blast today, whether you were at the clinic or whether you were playing. I've heard a few of you, this was your first 9 holes, which congratulations for completion. It's not easy. But let's jump into it, yeah? So I kind of want to ask all of you, really what or who inspired you to start playing golf? Becky, we'll start with you.
You saying that because of how bad I played today?
Well, we were partners today, so.
What, how, and why? Well, definitely my dad. My dad, I had a little bout with golf at my dad put me in junior golfers when I was an adult. At the Tualatin Country Club in Oregon. And he's a scratch golfer. Golf is his life. He played in college. He would never be caught dead having an alcoholic beverage on the course. So you can imagine how he feels about me and what I do and my character. So yeah, I'm 16. I'm playing golf with these little 8-year-olds that look like little Brooks Brothers models that are just spanking it down the fairway. And when you're 16, I was experimenting, with vodka and finger stuff and. The point of that. I'm so sorry. I think from a very young age, this was the 90s, early 2000s. I just kept getting told no at that point on the course. You're too loud. You're goofing off too much. Your Bermuda shorts are too short. And I remember getting sent home and seeing a lot of the guys would be just doing things, and I'd be like, really, I'm the one getting sent home. Okay. So from a young age, I think I just kind of thought, I don't know if I belong here. And I'm so glad that Renee and so many people, so many women have changed that for me. So we've come a long way, and I love it so much now. And my dad is very envious of my clubs.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Christina, how about you?
Well, like a lot of people, my father introduced me to the game as well. I was just shy of 12, and he took my older brother, my older sister, and I out back and said, "Here's a stick, hold it, swing it, don't stop." That's about it. I was probably 14 years old when I realized I was okay at the game, and I just ended up falling in love. And I am the youngest of three, so my father spent a lot more time with my older siblings, AKA being a very quintessential, like a tiger dad, pushed them to the point where they fell out of love. And so me being the youngest, I was deprived of all the attention that I was always given being the baby. And I said, what in the hell is going on? Okay, he's paying attention to them because they're good at this thing. I'm gonna be better so I could get that attention. So it was all just like child psychology. I am a textbook youngest child. And so then I was able to cultivate a love for the game on my own, which I'm very, very fortunate to have been able to do. And since then, I'm 21st year on the LPGA tour and just rocking it, loving it. Thank you. Very happy to be a millennial that actually has a career as opposed to just,
Amen.
I'm going to go and do a startup and then I'm going to go and do another startup. So having an actual career for a long period of time has been very fulfilling, and just seeing how much golf has changed in general, and especially seeing how many more women there are in the game has been so important and so fulfilling for me, because unfortunately, I didn't have the same experience. Fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't have the same experience with you, because I'm sure people were telling me I'm too loud. I still hear that to this day. I'm too this, I'm too that, whatever. But I'm just like, I'm sorry, no English. So I just pretended like I had no idea what they were saying, just kind of pattered along, just did my own thing. But no, it's been awesome seeing the way that the game has grown and how much interest has come about with golf, and especially with women in golf, because I will tell you right now, you do not have to be a scratch player, you do not have to be a tour player. If you have a passion for the game and you can go out there and still spank the boys every now and again, like golf is, honest to God, it's a pathway to so many things when it comes to the business world, which is kind of bullshit, but it is a reality. So the fact that you guys are embracing something that, quite frankly, can be very scary. Everyone, like I said earlier in the warm-up, you don't necessarily think of golf as a quote unquote, athletic sport or whatever, but that's generally the perception people have that don't play it. And when they realize there's so much rotational movement, so much lateral movement, timing, pacing, everything like that, people realize just how difficult the game is. So if this is something that you can cultivate a love for and beat the hell out of the guys, it is a way to earn an extra badge of honor and additional respect. So don't give up.
100%.
100% to that.
Yes. Well, Renee, we know and love you as just one of the most talented designers, not just in golf, but in general. But your inspiration for golf, I know that you've really taken this on like full force. And what inspires you within the game?
Gosh, so many things. I've like Christina said and Becky, there's been so many great friendships that I've formed on the golf course, memories, laughs. Like I said, it's the only sport where men and women can literally play together on the same field or a court or what have you, and compete against one another based on the handicapping system. So, and the tee boxes and their distances. So it's really a unique way that you can compete against men in a sport, really. So that's one piece of it. But obviously the biggest thing for me is all the friendships I made with other women on the golf course. Right. So, Bob and I started playing together when we were dating. I played a little bit prior to that, but I really didn't have anybody to play with until I met him. And then we would play like 9 holes on Sunday and then gradually worked my way up. And then when we went to Hawaii, I met a lot of other women that played golf at that point, because none of my friends here really played. And so that's when I became, fell in love with it, right? So we're playing from the same tee boxes, and, people were very patient with me at the beginning, helping me count my strokes, and all the things that you do when you're new. And luckily for those women, they got me into the game a little bit more, and now I just absolutely love it.
It's great. I love it. Well, first, good on you for actually counting your strokes when you first started. Cannot say the same, even sometimes now. But actually, that leads into my next question was, you said that you've made so many connections on the course. has there ever been an unexpected connection, whether it be with a man or a woman, or have you had any opportunities come up on the course that were a little bit kind of out of the woodworks?
Gosh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. I mean, definitely I've met some of my best friends on the course. So that was unexpected, right? So I participated in a tournament, met another woman just by happenstance at the cocktail party. We actually did not play together, but we met at this festivity surrounding it. That ended up being one of my best friends to this day. And through her, I've met a lot of other people and made other business connections and other pathways to lots of other opportunities. So I would say in general, that's what it is. It's like meeting all these different walks of life, and then those people open up your world to another life, which has been very fulfilling for me. So it's been well worth it.
Great.
Yeah.
You too as well. I'd love to know about a kind of an unexpected opportunity.
Oh no, I expect to get along with everybody.
Right. She does that very well.
Unexpected connections?
Opportunity, whatever. What was knocking for you?
My driver and the ball.
Yes. Yes.
No,
you made contact today.
Yeah,
You did.
you guys, how fun was today?
So
It was
fun.
the most fun. So many. I mean, all the women I've met golfing here, and so many business opportunities have come out of golf for me that were completely unexpected. It opened up so many doors that I don't know why I didn't continue on from junior golfers immediately. The most recent, I think, this is odd. Chris Pratt slid into my DMs.
Yummy.
Oh.
That's a little bit more of a business connection than.
He said he wants to play Scott in a movie.
Oh. Little romantic interest.
So hopefully we'll be making a new blockbuster soon.
Oh, straight to Netflix. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I feel the same way. I was expressing to my group, and I mean, even just from the outfits that we're wearing, if you look across the room, right, and even when we were doing our warm-up today, all of us have PXG outfits on today, but not a single one of us are in the same, I don't even see the same hat, really. So many different expressions, so many different walks of life. I played with an engineer today, which, badass at golf, by the way. I was very impressed. Becky and I got to play together. We had someone from marketing and media and, public outreach. I mean, so many women, and I never get the opportunity to play with women. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that too. I mean, being on tour, obviously you get your fair chance, but it's tough for a lot of us to make those connections with women on the course. So I think that today is kind of a kickoff. It's great. Renee, let me ask you, what strategies do you feel kind of encourage collaboration and support amongst women other than this event?
All right. Yeah, this is a good one.
That's a good start.
This is a good one. But yeah, I think, the people those of us that are in positions to facilitate awareness, events, anything in the golf industry, I think that's what I look to do. So whether it be a new store opening and doing engagements around that, or hosting events here and participating in other events throughout the country, I think the more that we embrace that, and then also invite more women to join us to do that. And if we have the wherewithal or the position to be in to do that, then let's do it. And whether that's just bringing a couple of friends after work, and going to play golf and hitting the range and playing 9 holes as it gets, it gets dark later now, so we can get out after work and go do it. Why not? And then other things may come of it.
Sure. I mean, how many of you, raise a hand, how many of you have never really been in a range or a playing golf situation? It's okay, raise your hand. But how many of you did have fun, right?
Yeah.
You still had fun, right? Exactly right. I love to see it. So, obviously a testament too to get the more exposure to, and your 26% of PXG is women? Yeah. Badass.
Yeah. Woo! So that's a start too. It's just showing young girls that playing golf is cool, and that you have every right to be there, just like the boys, like I said earlier, looking at golf as a career opportunity, whether it be on the course or in a equipment company or an apparel company. So there's just so many angles, whether you're, with a publication. So there's so many different ways that you can go about it. Look at Becky, forging this whole new way to expose people to golf. And so going on tour, and I mean, I would say 95% of your audience is female, would you say? I mean,
It's just a sea of visors.
yeah.
It's been amazing. And the people that come up after shows and they're like, we started golfing because of you. I'm like,
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
That's great. Because a lot of people, it's like, it's just so fun. It's so nice to be outside. You pop a Zyrtec and just, it's just great. You're playing a sport and you can talk business or you can just have fun and dance. And women are the best at it too. I mean,
Yeah.
no disrespect to the men, but women just they know how to have a good time and mix that with the fun of playing and and not take it too seriously. And I think that's something we've had to do all our lives in business. It's like, it's just, you have to be so resilient as a woman in business. You have to be so used to being told no and so used to being told your shorts are too short, and you have to be like, I don't give a damn.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen to that. Amen.
I'm staying.
And I'm hiking it up.
And give us pockets.
Christina, let me ask you now that you've obviously established a wonderful career for yourself on tour, looking back in the position that you're at now, is there anything that you wish that you would have known before where you're at this point?
So it's an interesting question you pose. I ultimately would say no.
Great.
Because there's nothing that I enjoy more than discovery. And I remember when I was 29 years old, 11 months and 364 days, I knew everything.
Sure.
Everything. So anybody under 30 right now, just listen. The day you turned 30, I woke up and I was like, I don't know a damn thing. And that just meant that I had an entire lifetime to just be this open vessel, to just sit and absorb and learn and grow and evolve. And ever since then, I mean, it's just, I don't think that I would change anything about my life. I mean, everything that I have done, good, bad, indifferent. My record was expunged a day I turned 18, so woo woo. That aside, it all brought me right here, and I would not want to be anywhere else.
I love it. No regrets. No regrets. It's wonderful. I have struggled with this a lot. Being in media and just never feeling like I was good enough to be either on the Golf Channel or good enough player to be considered taken serious. For those of you who don't know, like, I work in reviewing golf equipment in a very data-critic way. I work with all men, as most of us do, but always feeling like I'm not good enough. And not knowing because I wasn't doing good work, but is it good enough to be seen in a panel of men? Which is not a way to think, but it's real. Especially being in a predominantly male industry. So, Becky, I want to toss it to you. Do you feel this way, especially having your platform, being so media forward? Do you ever struggle with imposter syndrome?
Even right now.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, all the time. It definitely comes in waves.
Sure.
Yeah, it's hard. It's totally, it presents as not enough, not good enough, not funny enough. Not enough. And my therapist has me do this thing. I recently fired her, but she had me do this thing where because I was so, it can be so crippling that you're just like, I'm not meant to be here. I'm not funny enough. I remember even doing the Wild Wild West, riding on the back of the cart with the megaphone. I'd come home and be in the villa, like crying to my manager, like, I'm not funny enough to be roasting these people.
She was hilarious. She killed it.
She has me put my hands together because it connects your left side and the right side of your brain and go, I do my best and my best is good enough, and just repeat it again. And I talk to myself a lot. I just pace around. Sometimes you can put on a good song, a little Ciara goodies.
Yes, we had that banging today.
Dancing, taking 10 deep breaths. I have a very small, tight circle, just a powerful village of people around me that don't bullshit me.
Yep.
That won't
Right.
that'll tell me what's up, and
Sure.
that kind of know how to give it to me straight. And I think that's really helpful to get people that don't lie to you, that don't tell you exactly what you want to hear, that are like, yeah, you're out of your mind. And
Right.
I call friends, even if I played a theater last year in Chicago, and it was the biggest venue I ever played. Everyone was in visors. It was my biggest thing yet. And I was backstage talking to Kendall, and I was like, do I suck ass?
Be
I
honest. please
suck,
tell me.
right? Then no one's here for me, right? It's like, you're insane.
Right.
But then there's those times when you're backstage, or you're wherever you might be, in your office or at home or on the course or anywhere, and you're just like, when you have that feeling of, I am meant to be here. I worked my ass off to be here, and I am gonna do my absolute best out there. There's no better feeling in the world. And I think when you do have those times, if you can harness that and just remember how that feels and try to feel that more and more, that's the best thing.
Amen to that. Amen. Great.
All right, that was all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and to touch up on that, I would say I don't know if I would ever say I've personally suffered from imposter syndrome, because there's so much of me that I'm like, I don't even know who I am. So how can I identify as anything in particular? But I've had my own struggles with my mental health that has been documented. It was way before Simone Biles and Michael Phelps made it cool. I'd like to say I'm a trendsetter. So my mental health been messed up for a long time. It's all good. But one thing that I've come to realize is when you have those moments, when you sit there and you ask, do I belong here? Am I good enough? Imagine if you had your favorite, the love of your life with you, your pet, your favorite child or parent, because we all have one, and that's okay. Sometimes we are the favorites, but we all have a favorite something. And if you were to sit there and have them say the things that you're saying to yourself in your own head out loud, would you stand for that? Like if your mom would sit there and say, I'm a piece of crap, what am I doing here? There's no reason why I should be here. And you would sit there and you would list off, you'd be like, okay, well, first you expelled me from your body, so that is an unbelievable feat.
Also
you've raised this many children, you've done this, you've done that, and above all else, you're still here.
Yep.
Whatever age you may be, you're 67 years old. Like my dad, he just turned even par. So, I'd say, you've made it this far. Mm-hmm. So why would you let someone else say that about them, but you're gonna say that to yourself? Yep. I always say, I am my biggest advocate. I am my biggest ally. I am my biggest friend. And I am my best friend. I can have the entirety of the world could hate me, but I have enough love for myself that none of that matters. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to be inside my body while I'm falling asleep. Don't say anything. It's just you by yourself, when
Really
you close your eyes at night. And when we're done on this in this realm, whether there is something beyond this, whether I go and end up turned into a rock, whatever it may be, it's just you, and there is a comfort knowing that. So being there for yourself, I wish for all of you to be able to say, I can show up for myself, and I don't need anybody else. Because at the end of the day, we really don't have much of a choice, you know what I mean? So be your biggest advocate, be your biggest ally, speak up for yourself. And the worst thing that happens if you were to ask a question or say something is for someone to say no, And yeah, rejection sucks, but at least okay, boom. Let's pivot, let's adapt. What is it that we're going to venture onto next? That way you don't have to dwell on the no. Now after being told no, so you can move on to something else. Yeah. I had something that was really poignant. I don't remember.
Well, that all was very poignant, honestly.
It'll come back to me and I'll just start squawking in the middle of someone else's.
Well, I actually recently heard this, from the flights to from Virginia. Obviously, you try to catch up on as many podcasts as you can. And the one thing that I took from about the 5 hours of listening to these, self-help things that we all listen to was the opinion of somebody else about you does not change who you are. And that goes across the board, whether it be in business, whether it be in golf, whether it be any endeavor that women specifically are doing. What they think about you does not change who you are. So please speak up.
I remembered, sorry. So along those lines is yes, number one thing that any of us could be is kinder.
Yes.
does not necessarily mean to other people. You want to be a bitch? You can be a bitch. That's fine. But kinder to oneself. You know, just, again, that comes with showing up for yourself. That comes with, you know, saying, okay, you know what? I've been asked to do this and do this and do this, and I've been asked to go, you know, clubbing or this or that or whatever, or even if it's just to go have like a Pinot Gris with my girls. You know what? My ass is tired. I do not want to put pants back on. Show up for yourself, know yourself, do for yourself what you need for yourself. So show kindness, compassion, grace to oneself, because that's one way you can be your biggest friend. And there was one more thing. I'm going to interrupt you again.
Please go. I'm here
I'm
for
real
it.
sorry. I don't remember.
Go ahead. Well,
That's okay.
and the paradigm shift from, because we all say like, oh, you know, I'm my biggest critic. Then shifting it to, I'm my biggest advocate.
My biggest fan.
Exactly. Like just thinking it's such a small shift, but it's a complete 180 in how you end up treating yourself. Even when you get ready and you look at yourself in the mirror, if you say, it doesn't fit right, or it's that, stop being your biggest critic and start being your biggest fan.
Absolutely. I always look quizzical, but I'm doing my best with my eyebrows. That's fine.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
Continuing on with the laughs. Becky, how did the entitled housewife come about? I mean, was there an experience that you had? Where did she come from?
She was birthed during the pandemic.
Birthed.
Anybody else get a little depressed during the pandemic?
Just slightly. Gained a few pounds. It's no big deal.
I started gaining weight after, anyways. Yeah, we were a couple months into the pandemic, and my sister was working in the ER and just saving lives. And I've been doing stand-up for about 12 years now, and I haven't taken more than, I don't know, a couple days off because of a sickness or something. And so not being able to perform was really kind of eating away at my soul. You do like one Zoom show, and you're like, nah, never again. And I just got really into, I think, the darkest place I've ever been, like just in a hole. And my sister was saving lives. I was waking up every day at around 10 a.m. praying to God I could shit out one TikTok. And even that was tough. And all the teenagers dancing with, you know, and so then I went over to my parents' house, and my dad, he was having the time of his life. He's golfing 3 times a day. He was wearing a golf glove on both hands. He was calling it PPE. Just doing my part back. And he was just coming home, and he's going, golf is all we have. It is all we have right now. And I'm like sitting there crying, listening to Damien Rice, like the blower's daughter. And my mom at the same time, Sinbad has survived breast cancer and a brain tumor. She's so fierce. Yeah. She's such a tough woman. And so she's kind of like, I don't want to do this lockdown. I want to go to the Thirsty Lion and do happy hour with the girls. And so I'm just sitting there sad, and they're pacing back and forth going, golf is all we have. Thirsty Lion with the girls. And I don't know, for some reason I think I could have lost my marbles, but I was like angry and sad and just unwell to the point that for some reason it was like, I just became possessed. I went into my room. I put in my silkiest little bob wig. I went in my mom's closet. I put on a skirt, a polo, a visor, my dad's Oakley's fingerprints all over them. And entitled just exploded out of me. Like, I was screaming Dashiell and Maccabee. I don't know where the words came from. People are like, where'd you come up with it? Like, I have no idea. Like, Twalton Country Club, pickle, nickel, aioli. Like, I don't know where any of it came from. And it was, that day was the first time I had laughed in probably months, and I laughed myself out of, I think, the darkest place I've ever been. Ugh. And when you're a comic, you do kind of hate yourself. You don't laugh at a lot of things you do, so when you do have like a genuine, stop. When you do laugh at something genuinely, it's really powerful, and yeah, I don't know. I just, I went home and I edited the first video, and I was like, I can't post this. No one wants to see me. Because to me, characters are like, I hope this doesn't sound bad. To me, characters are a bit like my golf swing. Like sometimes I hit it and it goes really far, and sometimes I do it and I don't hit it at all. Right. And entitled just happened to be, I don't know, a 300-yard hit.
You hit it, yes.
So yeah, I just,
Well, we love her.
Yeah.
We love her.
So we love
She
you.
makes us laugh. I know that for
so
sure.
good.
You make us laugh. And you're exploding, right? And it was so quick, overnight almost, right? But Renee, you've been in a business position for a while, right? And I'm curious to know, like, if you have any advice for everyone in this room, all walks of life. What is kind of one key point of advice that you would give for women either trying to grow their own business, like something like Becky's doing, or their career, or even within PXG? Like, what is something that you would hand off to the crowd?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I think doing what you love first and foremost is the key, right? So you've got to be passionate about whatever it is that you're doing. Once you find that passion, then the hard work, it doesn't feel like work anymore. And that you get up energized, it's what you want to do, you want to make a difference. I think having a purpose in life is obviously hugely important. And to speak to Becky's experience too, and when you wake up with a purpose, whatever that is, that brings you joy, but also brings you fulfillment, and that you feel like you're making a difference, then I think everything follows from there. So leading with integrity, honesty, transparency. If you are moving into a leadership position, leading, with fairness and, again, transparency and collaboration, I think is huge. I love to collaborate across teams and departments and get everybody's perspectives on things before I make a final decision. I think that's really important as a leader. Everybody's got their own way to look at something, and people that are working in all the different departments, especially at PXG, whether they're interfacing with the customers or building our golf clubs or designing our apparel, all of those voices need to be heard in some way, shape, or form. And so I think that's what I would say: collaboration, teamwork, honesty, transparency, and compassion.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. Well, I'm all about the transparency, as you know. It's very important. So, take that with you. But on course experience with media, there's, I kind of want to comment on this a little bit leading into that. You mentioned loving what you do. For a long time, I didn't go to a very prestigious college. In high school, was considered a little rough around the edges, which hard to imagine now.
Polished.
Thank you.
Chic.
I don't know. Becky and I were kind of roughing it around on the couple holes, but loving what you do is so incredibly important. And I was telling even the driver yesterday. I wake up every morning and I say, I get to go have fun today. I get to go play golf, or even if I'm not on the course, I'm having a blast every single day. And that could be in a collaborative experience. That could be getting to go to events like this. But if you start to question that seriously, if you're waking up and feeling, if there's a 6-month period even where you're like, it's just not bringing me that joy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Marie Kondo.
I'm aware of her.
Thank you. If it doesn't bring you joy, you let it go. And I'm blessed to say that I've been brought joy every day that I wake up, and I'm sure you ladies feel the same. But it's incredibly important for us, because especially as women, we might feel like we don't have the opportunity to get up and leave something that doesn't make us happy. That there might not be another opportunity, especially in a male-run industry such as this. There will always be another door, I promise you, and it will make you happier once you start putting yourself first and being your biggest advocate. But as far as like on-course experience and connecting that to media, this is gonna sound so bad. Beating the men was so important to me from a very young age. And I would say that in media now, it's not so much beating them, but showing every male teacher, every male player I played against in college, high school, you name it, that said I would never be anything. I'm not gonna say much else. But. So that's where that imposter syndrome too, like, it's not good enough. It's like, well, where am I sitting, and how can I help you get to where you need to go? But, when it comes to encouraging other women, I feel like it's our duty when we have a certain platform, whether on tour, in business, making other people laugh. When it comes to encouraging women and encouraging girls, on the course, off the course, what are some roadblocks that you guys have experienced in encouraging other women or exploring your platforms to their biggest potential? Christina? Right. Do you need a moment?
Yeah, I need a sec.
Okay. Renee, would you like to start?
I know. Well, let's see. I mean, roadblocks, I think, I think women supporting other women, it's something that probably haven't been raised up to do as much as we should be or could be. So I think we're moving, doing everything you can to combat that and to go against that and to support one another. I think, even though we're in a male-dominated business now, I feel like I haven't had any roadblocks with women I work with any more than working with a man.
Sure.
So, and not that I find a lot of roadblocks in general, but I think it's luckily, I think for me anyway, my experience is it's an equal opportunity situation, right? Yeah. And if anything, the women that I work with are, in fact, probably a bit easier than the men.
I love to hear that. Or like societal pressures even.
That was where I was going to go. I was trying to find a nicer way to put it.
Sure.
And I want to make sure that what I say does not sound like gaslighting, but it's the biggest roadblock I've come across is society. And the way this is a generational thing where women are taught, you are not this, you are not that, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, your toenails are not clipped tight enough, you're whatever, your eyebrows are all wonky, thank you. So for me, a lot of it is having to work towards breaking down emotional barriers that women have put up because they have been told for so long, don't do this. We're raised from an early age to be fearful of whatever. We're taught, don't touch that, it's hot. As opposed to being like, hey, that's hot over there, but you know what, I got some like washable markers, let's go draw on the wall instead. So encouraging and providing gentle guidance toward things that you want to cultivate as opposed to being like, don't do this, don't do that. So I've been very lucky that I don't listen to people. I hear them, but it doesn't necessarily always register. So, it's a lot of times it's like, don't do this or don't do that. I'm like, I hear you're so pretty. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much.
Like, how am I going to spin this? How am I going to pivot? How am I going to adapt? What is it that they're trying to say? They're saying these things to me because society, generations of pain and trauma and things that people have not been able to work through, this is how they're communicating to me. What is it that they are saying in their heart? What is the root of what it is that they're saying, and how am I going to translate that into something that I can digest, which is all butterflies and unicorns and super, super happy. So for me, that's been the biggest roadblock, is finding ways to communicate with people and say, at the end of the day, it's okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to be okay. I am okay. Just yesterday I was having a conversation with my boyfriend, and he said, did I make you mad? I said, no, you didn't make me mad. Yeah. I am in a place right now, but that's a me choice.
Right.
I am absorbing it. I need a hot second right here so I can see what it is that you're saying.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, get the hell out of here because you're going to miss your flight. But those are the things, it's finding ways to hear what people are saying. And sometimes it may come off as a criticism, or sometimes it may be your own personal demons that you have to fight through. But, and to what you were saying about, going through it during the pandemic, which, you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. I am so sorry. You were not special because we all done did it. We all done did it. And, one thing, because there will be dark times ahead. There always are. It's the ebb and flow of life. Our emotions are like the tides. And so when you have those low points, it's hard to remember sometimes. But the reality is you're still here. The toughest thing that you've been through, the fact that you're experiencing it right now means that you've been through it and that you're here now. So, just that's one of those barriers that we need to break down and just sit here and celebrate one another, and I need that removal of comparison. You know, what is it that you're not good enough for? What are you comparing yourself that you're not good enough for? Are you doing your best? Any given moment, you are doing your best because you're doing what you can in this given moment. If I miss a 2-foot putt, I can't sit back there and say, oh, if I tried harder, I would have made it. It's like, girl, you done did your hardest. You sucked right then and there, but that's okay. You did your best.
Right.
You did your best. Accept that and move on.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Great answer. God, great answer. I feel like, is anyone else feeling like very therapeutic right now? I just wanted to thank all of you. Such amazing insight and so many different, like you said earlier, just different walks of life. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think we are. But you know what? I wanted to thank you. First of all, thank you for the therapy, seriously. Because I am feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. I laughed my ass off with you today, point blank period. And Renee, I'm feeling incredibly inspired, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well.
I am too. I mean, I'm inspired by you, and by everybody here for coming out and spending time with us today. It's just been a really amazing day and great energy, and just can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And cheers to you guys.
Yes,
Thank
cheers.
you. All
Oh,
of you.
and you know what? Wait, we got to take a selfie.
Oh, yes, we do.
I almost forgot. Okay, so you guys, we're going to get you, everybody in the background, so get ready.
Nobody should be sitting here saying, oh my God, my hair, this or that. You're all beautiful. You are enough. Every one of us is enough. We are doing our best at any given moment.
Well, thank you guys, everybody, for being here. Thanks to those that traveled in. We have a couple people here that traveled in, a couple PXG people that traveled in from far away. So thanks for coming in. Have a great day.